Hello, everyone, and welcome to our lecture on Chapter 11 Career and Life Planning Assessment. So, I know that as part of the LPC by equivalency courses at CSU, you take a career development course. So, this lecture is not going to be as much on the background of career assessment or on career counseling, but more on the assessments that are used in determining career and life planning. So, to get started, I really want to just introduce the topic very briefly of career and life planning assessment. So, career counseling and thus career assessment has been at the heart of counseling and other related disciplines for more than 100 years. Career assessment has been useful in assisting with the placement and screening, as well as informing public policy and facilitating client self exploration and decision making. What we found historically is that client self exploration and decision making is vastly different for everyone. And that is part of why we have career counseling, because we need to help facilitate that exploration with our clients sometimes. A famous vocational psychologist, Frank Parsons, in 1909, described a three-part approach to career counseling, and that included a clear understanding of yourself, your attitudes, abilities, interests, ambitions, resources, limitations, and their causes, a knowledge of the requirements and conditions of success, advantages and disadvantages, compensation, opportunities, and prospects in different lines of work, as well as true reasoning on the relations of these two groups of fact. This approach to career assessment and career counseling has been the cornerstone guiding counselors in assessing and intervening in career related concerns, and has formed the basis that counselors use when carefully selecting which assessments they will use with clients, how they will interpret their findings and relate those findings to other client information, and how external factors such as diversity and social justice considerations matter in career exploration and decision making. Career assessment is integral to and ongoing throughout the career counseling process, as illustrated by Niles and Harris Bowlby's identified steps, which include becoming aware of the need for career decisions, learning or relearning about vocational self-concept, identifying occupational alternatives, obtaining information about identified alternatives, making tentative choices from among available occupations, making educational choices, and finally, implementing a vocational step or a vocational choice. These steps highlight that assessment is ongoing throughout the career counseling process and goes beyond counselors simply administering tools to the client that they will practice between sessions, like you might do in traditional counseling. In career counseling, there's a lot more involved in the career assessment process, because you're doing that interpretation and you're building insight in your client through self exploration in session and outside of session that will then inform their life choices, their career, their livelihood. And there are various tools and models that are available to ensure that multicultural and social justice competencies and considerations are infused in the career assessment process. And these include things like the Multicultural and Social Justice Counseling Competencies, the Association for Assessment and Research in Counseling Multicultural Assessment Standards, the Culturally Appropriate Career Assessment Model, and the Multicultural Assessment Process Model. So if you are going to be doing a vocational assessment with a client in session, it is your responsibility to adhere to these standards and protocols as an ethical and multiculturally competent assessor. There are four major uses of career assessment in order to maximize client exploration and decision making. And those include prediction, which is looking at career assessment in terms of being able to predict career related performance for our clients. So, using the assessment as a prediction of how well the client will do in the future. We can also use the career assessment for discrimination. And in this context of career assessment, discrimination refers to continually evaluating an individual's abilities as well as their interests to determine likelihood of success by discerning which groups the individual is most like. So really trying to look at, okay, based on what you are interested in and your abilities right now, where are you most likely to be happy and to be successful based on other people who have similar interests and similar abilities? So being able to discern and discriminate amongst options to reduce any confusion that comes with career decision making. We can also use career assessment for monitoring, which includes monitoring career readiness and detecting values that are important to a client in order for them to make an informed decision about how they want to proceed within their career. And we can also use career assessment for evaluation, specifically to measure how well individuals are meeting their career goals and really determining what's left or what's next after a career goal is met. So there are various types of career assessments, and there's a high demand within the career assessment and life planning assessment fields for standardized assessments. A considerable portion of career and vocational assessments are quantitative in nature because they are more standardized and they have been tested for reliability and validity. But there are also qualitative career assessment techniques that may be useful as standalone or even as supplemental tools of the career counseling and career assessment process. Some of these qualitative assessments involve non-standardized and often informal approaches to assessment that include self-estimates of abilities, so asking clients to evaluate their own abilities. These non-standardized assessments also incorporate behavioral observations, interviews, biographical measures, projective techniques, and other career-related activities. Some examples of these qualitative career assessments include card sorts, the career style interview, the life career assessment interview, the Lifeline tool, genograms or occupational tests, the life career rainbow, and the integrative structured interview. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on these qualitative assessments just because our course is much more heavily focused on the quantitative standardized assessments, but I do think it's important to recognize that these qualitative assessments do exist and are effective additions to a career assessment. And a lot of times these qualitative assessments will allow counselors and assessors to develop a more holistic picture of their clients' values, interests, and abilities. And some of these qualitative assessments, specifically the life career assessment interview and the career style interview, as well as the integrated structured interview, are great to use for the intake or background interview if the client is coming in specifically for a career assessment. There are multiple measures of career readiness that we can talk about as being standardized career assessments. And in general, career readiness relates to how motivated a client may be to engage in the career decision-making process. Career readiness is referred to by two separate components: career maturity and career adaptability. Career maturity indicates a client's readiness to accomplish the career developmental tasks that are appropriate for their age. So in essence, career readiness indicates how motivated a client may be to engage in that career decision making. And then career adaptability is then the ability to adjust to and cope with predictable and unpredictable aspects of career decision making and participation. So Both of these aspects, career maturity and career adaptability, make up career readiness, which is oftentimes one of the first stepping stones to a vocational assessment. It's determining how likely a client is going to be involved in the career decision-making process. Because if they're not ready to make a decision about their career, then it might not be worthwhile to do a vocational assessment at this time. There are various measures of career readiness, and the list that I'm about to provide to you is not at all exhaustive. Rather, the list that I'm going to present to you is going to serve as a starting place for doing research on different assessments that might be available to your client. So, one of those career readiness measures is the Adult Career Concerns Inventory, which measures concerns about career for adults at 4 stages, as well as 12 substages of their development across the lifespan. So, this particular inventory is really great because it can be adapted to the age level of the client given what they're doing in their life. The Career Attitudes and Strategies Inventory assesses 9 aspects of career work and can be applicable for adults as young as 17 and up to 77 years of age. The Career Beliefs Inventory measures beliefs that oftentimes block career goals for clients. Given its limited psychometric data, this tool should be used as a decision aid that supplements other career assessment practices and career readiness measures. There's also the Career Decision-Making Difficulties Questionnaire, which evaluates students' and young adults' abilities to cope with different types of difficulties encountered in the career decision-making process. So the Career Decision-Making Difficulties Questionnaire is really good for your younger clients. There's also the Career Decision Scale, which is tailored towards adolescents and young adults as well, really to help them better understand origins of career indecision, so how they are indecisive and why they might be. The Career Decision Self-Efficacy Scale is sometimes also known or formally known as the Career Decision-Making Self-Efficacy Scale, evaluates a client's belief in their ability to make effective career decisions, so how confident they feel in their own abilities and their own competency. We also have the Career Development Inventory, which evaluates students' readiness to make educational and career decisions. This particular tool assesses career maturity and career adaptability, as well as a general knowledge of the world of work. So it's really helpful for college-age students who are nearing graduation and are about to enter into the workforce. We also have the Career Factors Inventory, which evaluates factors that may influence career indecision, such as a need for career information, a need for self-knowledge, career choice anxiety, and generalized indecisiveness. So things that may influence career decision making both positively or in a harmful manner. There's also the Career Futures Inventory, which assesses career planning, attitudes, and competencies as they relate to career optimism, perceived knowledge, and overall career adaptability. We also have the Career Mastery Inventory, which assesses adults' career adaptability along 6 developmental tasks. So, organizational adaptability, position performance, work habits and attitudes, coworker relationships, advancement, and career choice and plans. In addition to those 6 developmental tasks, the scale provides scores related to 3 adjustment scales: the integrative, adjustive, and non-adjustive scales. And overall, the Career Maturity Inventory is similar to the Career Mastery Inventory, except that it's tailored for use with adolescent clients. We also have the Career Thoughts Inventory, which measures dysfunctional thinking in terms of a career decision making in adults across the lifespan. Specifically, the Career Thoughts Inventory measures misconceptions in 8 core areas of career development and provides scores related to decision-making confusion, commitment anxiety, and external conflict that shows up in career decision-making. We also have the Childhood Career Development Scale, which measures career progress in children in grades 4 through 6 for 8 areas. So planning, self-concept, information, interests, locus of control, curiosity and exploration, key figures, and time perspective. We also have the vocational situation, which is often used as a screening tool to detect career planning concerns that may need to be addressed in counseling. And this scale provides scores related to vocational identity, occupational information, as well as barriers to the career decision making process. And finally, we have the skills confidence inventory, which is often used as part of the strong interest inventory to measure an individual's level of confidence with general occupational themes of the strong interest inventory, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail. So again, this list is not meant to be exhaustive, and I know I just rattled through a lot of information, and what I want you to gain from this is that there are a very wide range of career readiness measures, and each of them measures something different or slightly unique to your client's concerns. So if you have a client who is wanting to do career assessment, you can refer back to this list, you can refer back to your notes from this class and look at what options are available given your client's presenting concerns, their age, as well as what they want out of their assessment and what you're observing in them. Maybe they think that the problem with not being able to find a career is that they're indecisive, but what you're finding is that there may be some conflicts within their career choices. So another measure of vocational assessment that I want to talk to you all about is the comprehensive assessment programs, because there are these comprehensive assessment programs that serve as both assessment tools and counseling interventions with clients to address any career readiness concerns that you notice in clients. The comprehensive assessment programs measure a combination of a person's values, interests, and aptitudes. And these assessments can be both non-standardized and standardized. A number of non-standardized assessment tools serve as a more comprehensive career and life planning programs while also encouraging people to explore various occupations and make progress in their career decision making. These particular tools may take the form of computer programs or career guidance books or workbooks. And again, these non-standardized tools are really about helping the client to expand their knowledge of various career occupations and then to progress in their career decision making. Some examples of these computer programs include the career interests, preferences, and strengths inventory, the Career Scope version 10, and the System of Integrated Guidance and Information 3rd edition. There are also additional guidebooks and workbooks that you can give to clients to help facilitate this process in a non-standardized way. Some popular ones are What Color is Your Parachute?, the book Career Development and Planning, A Comprehensive Approach, and Making Career Decisions That Count, A Practical Guide. And again, all of these are just examples of non-standardized tools that you can use to help facilitate that career and life planning program that you might be doing. But there are also standardized assessment programs that provide comprehensive assessment of career. And there are 6 frequently used standardized assessment programs that are available to counselors. These standardized tests are known as objective tests, which ensure the validity of test results in the situations when a client's responses may be biased or distorted, or when clients do not have an adequate basis for judging their own abilities. So these standardized assessment programs will give you as a counselor insight into those things, even if the client isn't aware of them, or if the client may be exhibiting behaviors that are socially desirable and biased in some way. So one of the first of these frequently used programs is the ACT Career Planning Survey, which is designed to assess educational and career planning amongst students between grades 10 and 8, so very late middle school and early high school. And findings include the Career Planning Guide, which includes 2 checklists for students to use to review their work experiences and consider what characteristics they prefer in their work. So it really provides them with like this differential of like, here's where you are likely to do well and here's where you're likely to not do well. We also have the differential aptitudes test, which is oftentimes just called the DAT or the DAT, and can be used with the career interest inventory to provide career planning reports for counselors and students. And there are 2 levels for each assessment tool, depending on the grade of the child. So there's one for grades 7 through 9 and one for grades 10 through 12. The DAT contains 8 subtests, and those subtests include verbal reasoning, perceptual speed and accuracy, spelling and language usage, and the career assessment inventory provides scores for 15 occupational groups, which can then provide career planning reports to the counselors to inform the counseling that you're doing with the client. The third most frequently used program is the ASVAB, or the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, which is a multiple aptitude test battery, a career interest inventory, and a collection of career planning exercises and materials to help with career planning. The tool is used for educational and vocational planning among high school and community college students, along with military recruits. ASVAB scales include general science, arithmetic reasoning, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, mathematics knowledge, electronics information, auto and shop information, and mechanical comprehension. Continuing these common standardized assessments, the 4th one that I want to talk to you about is called WorkKeys, which is a work skills assessment program administered by ACT to evaluate actual and anticipated job skills that would maximize an individual's success in the workplace. Specifically, WorkKeys measures foundational skills in 10 areas: applied mathematics, applied technology, business writing, listening, locating information, observation, reading for information, readiness, teamwork, and writing. We also have the ONET system and career exploration tools, which is a comprehensive career information system that includes the ONET database, ONET Online, and ONET career exploration tools. If you have never looked at ONET, you can search it on the web and it will pop up. It's a free website and it has a detailed list of information that's available on different resources, on different careers that are out there. It also includes an ability profile, an interest profile, and a work importance profile. And then finally, we have the Career Occupational Preference System, which is sometimes just called COPS or the COPS system, which measures career interest, values, and abilities across a wide range of settings. And there are 3 measures in the system: the COPS Interest Inventory, the Career Orientation Placement and Evaluation Survey, and the Career Placement Survey. So again, these are the common standardized assessment programs for measures of career readiness within the counseling field. And as you can see, they can be tailored and sort of narrowed down to what is the most applicable for your client. And that is where we are going to wrap our conversation for chapter 11. And here are your review questions to make sure that you are gathering the most important concepts from this lecture while you're studying. And I will see you all in the next lecture.